is Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you all for a Srimad Bhagavatam chapter wise overview class. So last week we discussed chapter 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, called Divinity and Divine Service. So till now we have discussed basically 2 chapters. I hope many of you all or all of you all are trying to go back and go through these verses and the translations. How many of you all are trying to do this? घर जाके थोड़ा homework कर रहे हैं? Okay, please do it. The more you all do it, the more you all will be able to appreciate these classes. हाँ? नहीं तो मैं बताता हूँ ना, स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स की तरह बहुत पाइल अप हो जाएगा. बाद में आप लोगों को लगेगा कि बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया. So better to be up to date, right? Better to be up to date. If you all can, please try to do. We are still in 2 chapters. You all can still read it. So last time हमने श्रीमद् भागवतम का last time we did chapter 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. We'll do like a quick review of chapter 2 and then we'll begin chapter 3. So last time basically we saw that in chapter 1, Shaunakadi Rishi, they asked 6 questions to Sutta Goswami. Anyone remembers what the 6 questions are? Without looking into the book. Anything you all remember? Any fashion. It need not be 1, 2, 3. Do you all remember 6 questions?
What is ultimate good in general for the people? The first question. Second is...
Wait. Let everyone get chance. First question is, what is the ultimate good for people in general? Good. Anyone else knows any of the other questions? किसी को याद है? Very good. Second question, what is the essence of all scriptures? सब शास्त्रों का निचोड़ क्या है? Any other question people remember? Why did Krishna take birth? This was question number 3. Why did Lord Krishna appear in this world? And 3 more questions. You're almost there. Question 4 and 5. So question 4 was related to the Purusha avatars of Krishna. What are the various Purusha avatars? And question 5 is the Leela avatars of Krishna. And what is the 6th question? After Krishna's Leela, where does Dharma take shelter of? Okay. So this was basically chapter 1, 6 questions. So in chapter 2, which we discussed last week, Sutta Goswami begins his answer first by offering obeisances to Shukdev Goswami and all his previous acharyas. So we were discussing this principle that any great guru or any great preacher, in his heart he feels himself as a disciple only. He doesn't consider himself to be a guru. He still feels that he is a disciple of his guru. That means such a person is qualified to be a guru. He is like very loyal to the parampara. So Sutta Goswami offers obeisances to Shukdev Goswami. He congratulates the sages for asking this wonderful question. And then Sutta Goswami begins to explain. In verse number 6 and 7, he answers the first two questions. The first two questions were, what is the ultimate good for people in general, and the essence of all scriptures. So Sutta Goswami explains that bhakti is the essence of all scriptures, and by performing pure devotional service, ahetuki apratiyata, uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service, this is where the ultimate good for people will come. Then Sutta Goswami explains that when people perform various varnashram, right? We have 4 varnas, 4 ashram. What are the 4 varnas? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And 4 ashrams: Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. So generally human civilization is divided into 4 varnas, 4 ashrams. But the purpose of varnashram is samsiddhir haritoshanam. Ultimately, whether you are a Brahmana, whether you are Grahastha, Brahmachari, what is the purpose of what we are doing? The purpose of even the material activities is to please Krishna. If Krishna is pleased, then you are a perfect Brahmana, perfect Kshatriya. But if you are performing everything but Krishna is not pleased, then it's simply a waste of time. Shrama eva hi kevalam. Then he explains how bhakti progresses, the various stages where bhakti progresses. We saw different levels. It all starts with association of devotees. Syan mahat sevaya vipra. So all of us, when we come to this process of Krishna consciousness, it is only in the association of devotees. And we can give you like hundreds and thousands of examples of any devotee who has become a devotee from ancient times till modern times. It is only because they have come in touch with another devotee. So this is how bhakti begins. So in association of devotees, you hear about Krishna. Shranvata swakata Krishna. You hear about Krishna, you participate in the process of bhakti. And gradually the anarthas, all the impurities in the heart gradually go away. This is the internal cleansing process. And when this goes away, gradually we develop faith in Krishna, more deeper faith. Then we develop taste in the holy names, right? Our attachments to Rajogun, Tamogun go away. And then finally one experiences bliss and Krishna Prem. This whole progress, how bhakti progresses step by step, he explains. And then he explains how even if someone is worshipping demigods, there are different kinds of demigods, right? Someone is in Tamogun, Rajogun, Satogun. But he explains that ultimately, of all the processes, Krishna is considered to be the highest. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Maka, Vasudeva para Yogam. We saw that verse. Whether you practice Yagya or Yoga or Sankhya, whatever marg you have, ultimately you have to please Krishna. That is the essence. And then towards the end, he answers question 4. Question 4 was the Purusha avatars. Purusha avatar, he explains that basically there are 3 kinds of Purusha avatar, which will also come now in chapter 5. What are the 3 kinds of Purusha avatar? Karno Dakshay Vishnu, Garbo Dakshay Vishnu, Shiro Dakshay Vishnu. We'll be discussing again in chapter 5 beginning, he answers this. And then towards the end, he explains that how Lord Krishna comes in his various avatars in order to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. This was in answer to question number 3. Why does Krishna come? So this is in overall the quick review of chapter 2. So now we are getting into a very beautiful chapter called Krishna, the source of all incarnations. Krishna, Srila Prabhupada would coin this word. Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations. You know what's a fountainhead? You have a fountain, there's a small head which throws water. So Krishna is like that fountainhead from whom all the other avatars come. That's what will be explained in this chapter. So this chapter, basically the way it's divided, the first section explains how the Purusha avatars, verse number 1 to 5, we were discussing about Purusha avatars. The 3 Purusha avatars will be explained in this section. We will come to this section. Karno Dakshay Vishnu, Garbo Dakshay Vishnu, Shiro Dakshay Vishnu. Then the second section is 6 to 29, which is like a very central part of this chapter, where 22 incarnations are explained. Generally, we have an understanding of Dashavatar, but that's very less. Here, 22 different avatars of Krishna are mentioned, verse by verse. And then, Sutta Goswami explains that of all these avatars, Krishna is the source, Krishna is the fountainhead. We will come to that verse. And then he explains that by careful recitation of these verses, by remembering the pastimes of Krishna, all our miseries are removed. And then finally, he comes to a section where he explains about Virat Rupa. We have heard about this universal form. What is this universal form? What is the understanding? We will come to it when we reach that part 30 to 34. And then the last two sections, he explains the glories of describing and understanding the Lord. How one should describe and understand the Lord. And then the last part, which is a very important part, this is the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So till now in chapter 2, how many questions were answered? He answered question number 1, question number 2, ultimate good, essence of all scriptures. Little of question 3 also was answered, why does Krishna come? And then question 4, Purush Avatar. In this chapter, the youth section on Leela avatars, question 5 is answered because the rishis wanted to understand about the various Leela avatars. So question 5 is answered. We also have the first part, verse number 1 to 5. Again, Purush Avatar is mentioned. So question 4 is answered. And finally, the last question, which was question number 6, he answers in the last verse of this chapter that after the departure of Krishna, Dharma takes shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the last few verses 40, 41, 42 explain the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the overview of this chapter. We will do all the verses and then I will show the slides again. So then you all will understand, the complete overview. Okay? So while we do the overview, please don't get overwhelmed. Take it easy. Right? So therefore we are providing the slides also with you all. The video is also there. So if you want to hear it again, you can always hear it. Okay? So let's get into chapter 3. Verse 1, you all can repeat after me. Suta uvacha jagre paurusham rupam Bhagavan mahadadibi sambhutam shodashakalam ado loka chikirshaya. So here Sutta Goswami explains, in the beginning of creation, ado loka chikirshaya. So we all have learned creation in science, right? We all have gone to school. How is creation explained? Big Bang. There was a huge bang and then creation happened. We don't know who was there during the time of the bang, but probably some scientists might have been there, we assume. So that's how creation is explained, Big Bang. So the whole idea is they don't have God in the picture at all. But what is the Vedic understanding, the scriptural understanding of creation? It all starts with the first Vishnu, which is mentioned in verse 1, called Karano Dakshai Vishnu. Everyone is looking for the cause. How did this universe begin? Who is the cause of this universe? The scientists say the cause is one explosion. But our understanding is, cause is not an explosion, cause is Vishnu. So the question, we were discussing this in the Journey of Self-Discovery course, whether creation happened with a big explosion, a big bang, or it happens because of a big brain. What is the right understanding? Is it a big bang or a big brain?
Big brain.
Very good. Good. So that big brain is called Karano Dakshai Vishnu. So Karano Dakshai Vishnu, Karana means the cause. You can see here in this picture, Karano Dakshai Vishnu. He is lying in a Karana Sagar, causal ocean, also called Virja Nadi. Huge Vishnu, very, very huge. And when he breathes out, from every pore, one universe comes out. And when he breathes in, all the universes enter into his body and there is like complete annihilation. So this is the cause of creation, Karno Dakshai Vishnu. So here it is explained that, what does Karno Dakshai Vishnu do? He creates the 16 basic elements. So this is how creation is explained. We know 5 Pancha Mahabhut, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Along with that, there is subtle elements, mind, intelligence, ego, right? So when you mix all these things, along with that, there are 5 sense organs, touch, sensations, and all this. All this is the 16 primary ingredients. And Brahma, who is considered to be a creator, what does Brahma do? Brahma takes all the ingredients and makes a universal structure. It's basically simple. Like someone who comes and constructs a building, what does he do? This civil engineer. He takes bricks, cement and everything and he constructs a building. But he didn't make those bricks and cements. So therefore, the original creator is Vishnu. And Brahma is considered to be a secondary creator, or more correctly, he is an engineer who just takes all the ingredients and does it. Yeah, he assembles it. So this is the first Vishnu. So now, from each of his four, a universe has come, right, which is called Brahmand. What happens in each universe? Text 2. Yasyambasi shayanasya yoga nidram vitanvata namirda ambujadasen brahma vishwa srijampati. Now, that same Karnodakshay Vishnu enters into each universe and he is called Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Garbha is a womb, universe is like a womb, it's like an egg, and he enters into that womb and he's lying down on the water. The water is called Garbhodak Sagar and he's lying down on that, he's resting on the bed of Shesh, Ananta Shesh. And from his navel, it is explained here, Nabi Hrida Ambujat Asid. From his navel, a lotus flower comes. And on the lotus flower, Brahmaji is sitting. So this is the second Purusha, the second form of Vishnu for the creation called Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And the same Vishnu, it is explained that, you all can see text 5. We can read text 5. Etan nana avataranam nidanam bijam avyayam yasya amshashena srijjante devatiryan naradaya. So basically, so the whole idea is, what does Purusha avatar mean? That means Prakriti. Prabhupada would give a simple example. See, Krishna consciousness or understanding spirituality is not at all difficult. What do we call nature? Prakriti. Prakriti is feminine. Like now we are celebrating Navratri. Navratri, you are celebrating in remembrance prayer of Durga Mata, right? So she is feminine, she is material nature. Now Prakriti, can Prakriti create? Can a woman give birth to a child without a Purusha, without a man? Not possible. So the material scientists feel that Prakriti is everything, nature is everything. But the scriptures explain that no, Prakriti gives birth, but the one who is giving that seed is the Purusha. And that Purusha is Krishna. Like Krishna tells in the Gita, Aham bija pradapita. I am the seed giving father. So that's how creation is. In the womb of Prakriti, womb, Garbhodak, every universe is like a womb. Now in that womb, for activity to start in the womb, a Purusha has to enter in the form of a semen or whatever. Purusha has to enter, then activity starts. So in each universe, Garbhodakshay Vishnu enters and then Brahmaji comes and the whole activity starts. Now the third Vishnu is called Shirodakshay Vishnu. From Garbhodakshay Vishnu, what is explained in text 5 is the third Vishnu called Shirodakshay Vishnu. What does Shirodakshay Vishnu mean? In each universe, there is something called Shvetadweep or the milk ocean. Shira, in Sanskrit, milk is called Shira. So there is a milk ocean, right? So in every universe, there is one small planet called Shvetadweep, or it's also called Dhruvatara, which you can see, the pole star. That is actually the spiritual world in the material world. And there, the third Vishnu is lying down called Shirodakshay Vishnu. So now what happens? Whenever there is a problem, creation has happened. Brahmaji has done all the creation. But in due course of creation, there is always problem. Management, anything you create, there is always issues in maintaining it. So whenever there is a problem, all the demigods, Brahmaji, everyone, they go to Shir Sagar. They go to the ocean of milk. And they offer prayers, Purusha Shukta prayers and everything. And then Shirodakshay Vishnu promises them that I will take a particular avatar. Getting the point? So here it is said, Eta nana avatarana nidhanam bijam avyayam. So therefore, all the various avatars come through the medium of Shirodakshai Vishnu. That's how the creation and the maintenance happens. So basically, this is what Srila Prabhupada explains here. Getting the point? So basically, in first 5 verses, he has explained the 3 Purusha avatars, which was asked in question number 4. Karnodakshaya Vishnu, who is the original cause. But actually, before Karnodakshaya Vishnu, there is Krishna. I'll show you all some other chart. So Krishna, then Balaram, then the Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Niruddha, and then Karnodakshaya Vishnu. So from Karnodakshaya Vishnu, each universes come, and then in each universe, Krishna enters as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And as Shirodakshaya Vishnu is there in a planet called Shwetadeep, where the demigods also go. And also the second function of Shirodakshaya Vishnu is, he enters into the heart of every person and into every atom. That means, right from the macroscopic level to the microscopic level, whatever activity is going on, it is only because of Vishnu. It is only because of Vishnu. Therefore, this verse is there in the Gita, where Lord Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanava ma prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Everyone is wanting to acquire knowledge. Scientists also are trying to understand what this universe is and what is the source. Krishna says, what is the end of all research? If you do all your research, the conclusion is Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Krishna is everywhere. If you have the eyes to see, you will be able to see Krishna everywhere, right from the macroscopic level to the microscopic level. This is what, in essence, the first 5 verses about the Purusha avatar. Now, from text 6, Suta Goswami starts to answer question 5. 6 to 27, he is answering question 5. What was question 5? They wanted to understand Leela avatars. Purusha avatar is explained already in this chapter, the previous chapter. Now, Leela avatars of Krishna. So, these are 22 Leela avatars of Krishna. We'll quickly read this and I'll explain you all these verses also, all these avatars. Text 6. Sa eva pratamam deva Komaram sargam ashrita Chachara dushcharam brahma Brahmacharyam akanditam. So the first Leela avatar is called Chatush Kumar. Chatush Kumar, the 4 Kumaras. You all know this? When Lord Brahma, this will come in the 2nd canto, when we reach the 2nd, 3rd canto. Now Krishna tells Brahma, you create. Now Brahma has to create. So the first children Brahma creates is these 4 children. The first creation of Brahma is the Chatush Kumar. Right? And these Chatush Kumar, actually Brahmaji tells them that please all of you all get married and increase the progeny. Because Brahmaji's business was to increase population. Right? Universe is made, but the universe has to be filled with people also. Na? So Brahmaji tells the Kumaras, you all please populate, get married, increase the population. The Chatush Kumar say, no. Brahmacharyam akanditam. We will follow Brahmacharya. We will not get married. And they don't get married. And Brahmaji becomes angry at that point because these sons have not listened to him. And from the eyebrows of Brahma, because he's so angry, Rudra comes out, Shiva. And that is how the creation continues. We'll get into the details of that in the 2nd canto. But here it is explained about the Chatush Kumaras, who are also called a Shaktavesh avatar for the purpose of Jnana. Very, very great devotees of the Lord. Text 7. Dvitiyam tu Bhavayasya Rasatala Gatam Mahim Udarishyan Upadatta Yaggesha Sokaram Vapu. So this is the 2nd Leela avatar that is explained here. Who is this? Varahadev. Actually, it is in the sequence of creation only. If you read again the chapters ahead, when Brahmaji creates, he is creating and suddenly he sees that the earth is gone in the Garbhodak Sagar. See how the planets are. In each universe, half of the universe is filled with Garbhodak Sagar. And then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is lying down on that. And then from his navel, a lotus is there. That lotus stem is where Brahmaji fashions the 14 planetary system. The 14 lok jo hai, is there in that lotus stem. So during the course of creation, the earth slipped and fell into the Garbhodak Sagar. And then right from the nostril of Brahma, a boar comes out, Varahadev. And what does he do? He goes into the nether regions, the Garbhodak Sagar, and with his two tusks, he lifts the earth and then comes. Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hari. Right? That's how it is explained here. Yes? Yeah, there are two Varahas that are mentioned. But both understanding is correct. Text 8. Tritiyam Rishi Sargam Vai Devarshitam Upetyasa Tantram Satvatam Ajashna Naishkarmyam Karmanam Yata. Then in the third empowered incarnation, so Srila Prabhupada explains, after I finish the 22 incarnations, I'll tell you there are more divisions of these incarnations. There are various divisions. We saw Purusha Avatar. What are the Purusha Avatar? Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshiradakshay Vishnu. Last chapter, we saw Guna Avatar also. What are the Guna Avatars? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Brahma is for Rajogun, Shiva is for Tamagun, Vishnu is for Sattva. That is a Guna Avatar. Here there are Leela Avatars. Leela Avatar matlab when the Lord comes and does a particular Leela. Then there is something called Shaktavesh Avatar, where the Lord empowers a particular living entity to do a certain work. So Devarishi Narad technically falls under the category of Shaktavesh Avatar. He is empowered to preach. And Srila Prabhupada writes here, the entire Bhagavatam is in one sense about Narad Muni. Narada is preaching to so many people. We'll see the next chapter, Narad Muni starts to preach to Vyasdev. He's preaching to the Pandavas. He's preaching to Prahlad Maharaj. He preaches to Dhruva. Practically in every canto you'll find Narad Muni. He's empowered to preach this message. And what does Narad Muni do? Narad Muni is like a great doctor. Naishkarmyam karmanam yatah. So it is said, see, in this world we all get entangled because of karma. Because of activities we get entangled. Narad Muni is an expert physician, an expert doctor who knows how to use karma only to get out of karma. Prabhupada gives an example. When you take too much milk sweet or you have drunk too much milk, what do you get? Indigestion. What is the cure for indigestion due to milk? Curd. Now curd is also milk only in one sense. Milk caused you indigestion, but the same milk in another form can cure you from indigestion. Similarly, we get entangled in this world because of karma, but great acharyas like Narad Muni know how we can use the same activities to get rid of all karma. That is what Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. Naishkarmyam karmanam yata. He inspired non-fruitive devotional activities. This is about Narad Muni in short. So I am just giving you a quick idea of all these various avatars. Text 19. Turye dharma kala sarge Nara narayana vrishi Bhutva mo pashamo petam Akaro duscharam tapa. The fourth incarnation, the Lord came as Nar Narayan Rishi. Have you heard about Nar Narayan Rishi? If you go to Badrika Ashram, Nar Narayan Rishi are still doing tapasya there. You'll find two hills in Badrika Ashram called Nara and Narayan. They are still there doing tapasya. Why does the Lord come as Nar Narayan? The Lord doesn't have to do tapasya. Does he have to do tapasya? We have to do tapasya to get him. What tapasya he has to do? But in order to set an example, he also comes as Nar Narayan and does tapasya. Krishna tells in the Gita, na, yad yad acharati shreshtas tat tat eve torojana. Like Lord Krishna has to work, Lord Krishna has to go and fight and do all this. He doesn't have to do, he's the Supreme Lord, he's the boss. But still he does his activities so that others can get inspired and follow in his footsteps. Similarly, Nar Narayan Rishi was still worshipped in Badrika Ashram. Srila Prabhupada explains here. They taught us the principle of tapasya. In order to achieve Krishna, one has to do certain tapasya. And this is what human life is meant for. Tapo divyam putrakayena sattva. That is the story of Nar Narayan Rishi. And the same Nar Narayan come as Krishna and Arjuna. Narayan comes as Krishna and then Nara comes as Arjuna. So basically these are like eternal partners. They are eternal partners, always there together in different forms, but they are always there to establish dharma around. That is Nar Narayan Rishi. Text 10. Panchama Kapilo Nama Siddesha Kala Viplutam Procha Yashuraye Sakyam Tattvagrama Vinirnayam. The fifth incarnation is Kapil Dev, not that cricketer Kapil Dev. This is Lord Kapila, right? So he is considered Siddesha Kala Viplutam, the foremost of perfect beings. And what does Kapil Dev, what does this Lord Kapila teach? He taught the philosophy of Sankhya Yoga. What is Sankhya Yoga? Sankhya Yoga in one sense is Bhakti Yoga only. But Sankhya Yoga is called analytical study. I explained the 16 elements, and actually there are more, 24 elements. So the more you study material nature, how each element functions, you will understand what is matter and then what is spirit. Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita a simple understanding. See, there is the process of Sankhya and there is a process of Jnana. There is a process of Bhakti. In the process of Sankhya, what happens? It is analytical knowledge, Jnana. So Kapil Dev, Kapil Muni or Lord Kapila, you can see in this picture, he is explaining the Sankhya philosophy to his mother Devahuti. This comes in the canto ahead. Devahuti was the wife of Kardama Muni, a great soul. Devahuti was the daughter of Manu, Swayambhu Manu. So their son became Kapil Muni. So Devahuti, she is asking Kapil, how do I get rid of this world? This world is so illusory. And he gives this whole understanding of Sankhya. So Prabhupada explains these are like two tracks. Sankhya is when you analytically understand this world, what is matter, you will realize that I am not matter, I am spirit. And after you understand that I am not matter, I am spirit, what you will start doing? Bhakti. You will start doing bhakti to Krishna, because as spirit I have to do devotional service. And what is the process of bhakti? In the process of bhakti, right from the beginning you understand that you are not matter, you are spirit. Right from the beginning you start bhakti. So ultimate aim of both is detachment from matter and attachment to that supreme. So he also explained this philosophy to a person called Asuri Brahmana along with Devahuti Mata. Right? So this is the incarnation of Lord Kapila. Text 11. Sastamam atre apatyatvam vritta prapto anusuyaya anvikshikim alarkaya praladha adibya uchivan. The sixth incarnation is Dattatreya. He was born as the son of Atri and Anusuya. So Prabhupada explains here that Atri and Anusuya, both great personalities, they one time prayed that whoever is the supreme, please be born as a child. So because their prayer was not targeted, it was like a general prayer, whoever is supreme, please come as my child. So all three came, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And they said, Arey, we called for one, how did all three of you all come? They said, we all thought we are all supreme in one levels. So it was not a very clear prayer, we all came. So all three of them became the children of Atri and Anusuya. So it is explained that Vishnu becomes Dattatreya, Brahma becomes Soma, and Shiva becomes Durvasa Muni. So these are the three children. So Dattatreya is considered to be one of the Vishnu avatars. So he spoke of philosophy of transcendence, which is a very high level of renunciation, very strong type of renunciation. He spoke on this subject to Alaraka, Prahlad and others. So this Prahlad is not the Prahlad that we see in Bhagavatam, but someone else. Prahlad, Yadu, Haya and others. So this is the philosophy of Dattatreya. Text 12. Tata Saptama आकुत्याम रुचेर्यज्ञो बयाजयत स यमादे सुरगणेन अपात स्वायंभुवांतरम. The seventh incarnation was the Lord called Yajna. The name of the Lord was Yajna. He appeared as the son of Prajapati Ruchi and his wife Akuti. And when did he come and why did he come? Because there was a change of Manu. So what is the change of Manu? Srila Prabhupada explains in one of the verses ahead. See, in one day of Brahma, 12 hours of Brahma. What is 12 hours of Brahma? There are 1000 yuga cycles. What is one yuga cycle? To understand half a day of Brahma, you have to understand what is one yuga cycle. Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. 2 times that is Dwapar Yuga. 3 times Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga. 4 times Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga. So basically it becomes 4,32,000 into 10 is one Divya Yuga. One Divya Yuga. Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. One set is called one Divya Yuga. You multiply this by 1000. 1000 such Divya Yugas make 12 hours of Brahma. That's 12 hours. And night is like 12 hours. And then Brahmaji has like such 30 days, 1 month, then 12 such months, and then he lives for 100 such years. That is the lifespan of Brahma. So now in 12 hours of Brahma, that means in 1000 Yuga cycles, there are 71 Manus who come. Manu basically, it is from them that the word Manava comes. The original progenitor, Manu. So every 71 Yuga cycles, the Manu changes. So presently, I told you in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. Presently, it is the 7th Manu. 7th Manu going on. And the name of this Manu is called Vaivaswata Manu. So the previous Manu was called Chakshusha Manu. The previous Manu was called Chakshusha Manu. So here it is explained that during the period of Swayambhu Manu, what is Swayambhu Manu? The first Manu is called Swayambhu Manu. The 7th Manu is Vaivaswata. Before this is Chakshusha. The first Manu is called Swayambhu Manu. So during the period of Swayambhu Manu, so what happens? Every time a new Manu comes, the whole set of demigod changes. Indra, Chandra, all this is like designation. So particular living entity was done lot of punya, he becomes Indra, he becomes Chandra. But sometimes there may be no living entity who is qualified to take that post. So the Lord only becomes that particular devata and takes. Just like happens now in a cabinet ministry. Sometimes there may not be any minister for a particular department. The chief minister only takes over. So similarly, when there is no living entity to do the role of Indra, the Lord only becomes Indra. So in a particular Swayambhu Manu, there was no qualified living entity to take the post of Indra. So this particular avatar called Yajna, he becomes that Indra. He takes the charge of Indra. And he, along with the other demigods, Yama and everything, ruled during the period of Swayambhu Manu. This is the incarnation of Yajna. Okay? Text 13. Ashtame Meru Devyam Tu Nabir Jata Urukrama Tarshayan Vartama Dhiranam Sarvashrama Namaskritam. The 8th incarnation was King Rishabha Dev. He was the son of King Nabi and his wife Meru Devi. So this is Rishabh Dev, and he taught the path of perfection, which is a very intense kind of renunciation, very high level of renunciation. So Rishabh Dev, basically his followers are the followers of Jain Sampradaya. So in Jain Sampradaya they have something called Tirthankars, and Rishabh Dev is their original Tirthankar. So they follow a system where they torture the body to get renunciation. They pluck their hair, it's like a very painful system. So Rishabh Dev followed a very intense kind of renunciation. During summers he would light fire around himself and stand there. During winters he would go to the chilling cold ice and stand inside. So this is a kind of tapasya. When you torture your body so much, you get like disgusted and you understand you're not this body. So this is the kind of renunciation that Rishabh Dev followed. is incarnation of the Lord, and he followed the highest level. So Prabhupada explains here, we have Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. In this order, the sannyasis are considered to be the topmost. Even in sannyas, there are 4 levels. Kutichak, Bahudak, Parivajagacharya and Paramhamsa. Paramhamsa is considered to be the highest of sannyas. So Rishabdev was the highest of sannyasi. So basically, he was a king. He was a king of this entire world. When he reached the age of 50, he gives his kingdom to his children. He had 100 sons. The story comes ahead. And when he is telling these children about human life, I think it comes in the 3rd canto somewhere. So he explains them the purpose of human life. And he tells them, Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam. This human form of life is meant for doing tapasya, so that you can achieve Brahma Sokyam to Anantam. You can achieve unlimited bliss. It is not meant to enjoy like animals. So Rishabdev had 100 sons. The first eldest was Bharata, King Bharata. And it is after him that this entire land is called Bharatavarsha. So Rishabdev, when the children became elderly, he gave the kingdom to Bharat and he walked out to take to the path of renunciation. So this is the story of Rishabdev, which comes ahead in the Bhagavatam in detail. So here Sutta Goswami is just naming these avatars, but the details of these avatars follows in the cantos ahead. Text 14. Rishibir yachito beje navavam parthivam vapu dugde mam oshadir vipras tena yamsa ushattama. The 9th incarnation was King Prithu Maharaj. So why did the Lord appear as King Prithu? In order to show how a king should rule the entire world. So basically, King Prithu, the story it comes in the cantos ahead in very much detail. So basically, his father was someone called King Vena. Vena was a demon. He was a king, but he was a demon. He would torture people like anything. So the Brahmanas, they understood that this guy Vena cannot rule. He's like a demonic king. So the Brahmanas were so powerful, they chanted a mantra and they killed Vena. Vena died. Now the Brahmanas were thinking, the king is gone, now who will rule? So the Brahmanas churned the body of Vena. They did manthan of the body of Vena. All the poison came out, and then finally the Lord appeared called Prithu Maharaj. This is one of the avatars of the Lord. The Lord came to show how an ideal king should rule. And as explained here, during the rule of Prithu, there was no dearth of anything. The earth would just produce grains, minerals, and everyone was very, very happy. This is the rule of King Prithu. Text 15. Rupam sa jagre matsyam chakshushodadi samplave navi aropya mahyam apat vaivashvatam manum. So this is the next incarnation. Which number? The 10th incarnation. The 10th incarnation. He comes as Matsya Avatar. So how does Matsya Avatar come? I told you in every day of Brahma, 12 hours of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. After every Manu, there is a partial destruction. What happens during destruction? The lower planetary systems, all the 14 planetary systems are on a stalk. And where is the stalk? It is lying in the Garbhodak Sagar, right? From the navel of Vishnu. So when the Manu changes, there is a partial destruction where many of the planetary system flood. They are under water. So at a particular time like this, when it was time for the change of Chakshusha Manu, from Chakshusha Manu, it is now time to move to the Vaivasvata Manu, basically during the previous Manu. So the Lord comes as Matsya Avatar and he protects, everyone is inundated, everyone is gone. He protects the Vedas. The Vedas are protected. There's a boat tied at the back of the fish, Matsya Avatar. He protects the Vedas, the Saptarishis, and King Satyavrat, who becomes Vaivasvata Manu next. So this is the Lord who comes as Matsya Avatar. Keshavadrita, what is the Matsya Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Right. So this is Matsya Avatar. Text 16. Surasuranam udadim matnantam mandarachalam dadre kamatarupena prishta ekadashe vibho. The 11th incarnation, he comes as Kurma avatar. Keshavadrita Kurma Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So basically, we all know at one time there was a truce between demigods and demons. Generally, they are never together. Both parties never come together. But at one time, they came together because both of them wanted nectar. And Lord Vishnu said that they are also powerful. You will not be able to do it alone. Make truce. Right? And Lord Vishnu gave a simple example. Sometime when a rat and a snake both are caught in a net. Rat and snake both are caught in a net. Now, if the snake eats the rat, it will never come out of the net. So Lord Vishnu gave this example. Let the rat make hole. Let the rat make hole, and as soon as it makes a hole, you eat it. Finish. So you make truce with the demons, and right time you take Amrita and go. So this is the Samudra Manthan Leela. So now in order to churn, and what they were churning the ocean of milk, Kshira Sagar. Now to churn the ocean, you need a pivot. You need a churning rod. So they bought a huge mountain called Mandarachal mountain as a pivot. And Vasuki, the snake, became the rope. Now what happened? As they were churning, the mountain started to sink in the bed of the ocean. So they didn't have anyone to hold the mountain. They prayed to Lord Vishnu, and the Lord came as a pivot. He came as that pivot for the Mandarachal. He kept the mountain on his back, and the churning continued. This is Kurma avatar. Text 17. Dhanvantaram dvadashamam trayodashamam evacha apatyayat suram anya mohinya mohayan striya. This is the 12th and the 13th incarnation. So actually this Samudra Manthan Leela, there are many incarnations that come. Many incarnations. Right? There's one Lord who comes, Ashtabahu, he comes and protects Sahasrabahu, he protects the mountain from falling off with all his hands. And then finally the Lord appears as Dhanvantari, who's the god of Ayurveda. Right? He comes with a pot of nectar, Dhanvantari. Right? And he gives that nectar. Right? And as soon as the nectar comes, the demons take the nectar and run away. The demigods thought they will do it. These guys are more intelligent. And the demigods prayed to Vishnu, what should we do now? And the Lord came in the 13th incarnation as a very beautiful lady called Mohini Murti. And what she did, she was so beautiful that the demons just gave that pot away. Right? Do whatever you want, we are surrendered unto you. So Mohini, she started to smile at the demons. She made them sit in two lines, the demigods and demons. She started to smile at the demons and she started to pour nectar to the demigods. So in this way, she cheated all the demons. So this is the avatar of Mohini. Text 18. Chaturdasham narasimham bibrat daitendram urjitam tadara karajerhura erakam katakrityata. The 14th incarnation, Lord Narasimha Bhagavan. So what did he do? He bifurcated the body of Hiranyakashipu. Just like a carpenter pierces a cane, आसानी से फाड़ देता है, like that he bifurcated Hiranyakashipu. And the subject matter is there in Bhagavatam in detail, the 7th canto of how he protected Prahlad and that whole story of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad. So this is the incarnation of Narasimha. Text 19. Panchadasham Vamanakam Kritvagat Ardhavambare Padatrayam Yachamanaha Pratyadishtur Tripistapam. 15th incarnation, he came as Vamandev. And when Bali Maharaj, the king of the demons, he was doing a yajna and Lord comes there. Why does the Lord come? Because Bali at that point became very powerful. He became so powerful that he conquered the throne of Indra also. All the three worlds belong to him. So Indra and his mother Aditi, they all went to Lord Vishnu and prayed, please help. So the Lord came as the son of Aditi and Kashyapa, Vamandev, born as a Brahmana. So when he was born and Bali was doing a particular yajna, Vaman Dev goes there as a Brahmana begging, Yachamana, to beg. So begging was a plea. So generally even the kings of the previous times, even though they were demons, they would give charity to Brahmanas. Brahmanas were always respected because they knew that in order to keep their demonic power also, they need blessings of Brahmanas. So Brahmanas were always respected. So he goes as a small dwarf and he's asking Bali, please give me 3 steps of land. Bali is saying, Arey, I can give you so much. He says, no, I'm satisfied. And then he takes a sankalp, I'll give you 3 steps of land. And then Vaman Dev becomes huge, Urukrama. And then with 2 steps he conquers the entire universe. And the 3rd step he places on the head of Bali. So Prabhupada says here, the Lord can give anyone anything and take anything from everyone. He can do anything, right? The Almighty God bestows upon anyone the kingdom of the universe, and similarly he can take the whole kingdom on the plea of begging a small piece of land. So this subject matter also is discussed in detail in the cantos ahead. Text 20. Avatare sodashame Pashyan Brahma Druho Nripan Trisapta Kritava Kupito Nishatram Akaron Mahim. This is the 16th incarnation. He comes as Parshuram, Keshavadrita Bhrugupati Rupa Jaya Dagadisha Hari. Right? He comes as Parshuram, Bhrugupati. So he was the son of, his father's name was Jamadagni and mother's name was Renuka. He's also called Renuka Sutra. So basically Parshuram was also a Brahmana, right? But then at one time there was a king called Kartivirya Arjun, very powerful king, who came and killed the father of Parshuram, Jamadagni. He just killed him. So Parshuram just lost it. These kings, they are so arrogant, the whole Kshatriya dynasty is useless. So Parshuram, 3 sapta is 7, 3 is 3, 3 sapta is 21 times, 3 into 7. So 21 times he went around the world with his Parshu, with his axe, and he annihilated the entire Kshatriya race. Said this whole race is useless, a new set of people have to be born. He just killed all the Kshatriyas. So this is Parshuram. And then the whole land that he got, he gave it donation to the Brahmanas. So this is the avatar of Parshuram. Right? So Parshuram is called Dushta Daman Shakti. He came basically to destroy all the demons. Text 20, 21. Goa is also Parshuram Kshetra. So basically, because he gave all the land to all the Brahmanas, he didn't have a land for himself. Because he is already given, and once you give something in charity, you can't take it back. So he threw his Parshu and he created a new set of land on this coast called Parshuram Bhumi. And he stays here in the Mahendra Parvat area. Text 21. Tata saptadashe jata Satyavatyaam Parasharat Chakre Vedataro Shaka Drishtva Pumso Alpamedasa. This is the 17th incarnation, Vyasdev. We'll hear the story of Vyasdev in the next few chapters. So Vyasdev appeared as the son of Satyavati and Parashar Muni. Mother Satyavati, Parashar Muni. Right? And what did Vyasdev do? So Vyasdev is an avatar of the Lord. He basically divided, originally there was one Ved. Vyasdev divided that one Ved into 4 Vedas. Right? Samved, Atharvaved, Rigved, Yajurved. Not only that, he wrote all the Puranas, he wrote the Itihasas, he wrote all this. So basically, Prabhupada would call him literary incarnation. So Vyasdev came and he was just writing all the Vedas, compiling all that. Right? And this is what he did. And why did he do this? Why did he divide the Vedas into 4? And why did he write all this? So that the less intelligent people, Alpamedasam, they can also understand some of it. So therefore, he appeared in this world. Text 22. Naradevatvam apanna Surakarya chikirshaya Samudra nirgahadini Chakre viryani ataparam. The 18th incarnation is Lord Ram, Dasharath. So Parshuram is also Ram. Ram is also Ram. Ram is Dasharath Nandan Ram. So he came in this world. Why did he come? Surakarya Chikirishaya. The demigods are also called Sura. So Lord Ram came to please the demigods, fulfill the desire of the demigods because they prayed for him to come. Surakarya Chikirishaya. And what did he do? Many activities. Subject matter, Prabhupada explains, is Ramayana. I mean, this is just one idea of Ramayana here, but the whole detail is there. So basically, he came for two things: to kill demons. He killed the demon Ravan and he established Dharma. And Prabhupada, what Sutta Goswami explains here, in order to kill Ravan, he built a bridge. Samudra Nirghadini. He built a bridge across the Indian Ocean. And Prabhupada explains here, this is Lord Ram. Generally, stones don't float on water. That's the rule. But he is the Supreme Lord, he can break rules also. He can make his own rules. So he decided, let the stones float. The stones floated. And then he went and killed Ravan. Text 23. Eko vimshe vimshati me Vishnu prapya janmani Rama Krishna iti bhuvo Bhagavan aharad baram. 19th and 20th incarnation, the Lord came as Krishna and Balaram and Krishna. They appeared in the family of Vrishnis. And what did they do? Bhagavan aharad baram. They removed the burden of the earth. All the demons were there, they destroyed all the demons. So something very interesting, this verse is very important. Till now, this is the 19th and 20th incarnations. Till now, 20 incarnations mentioned. But we have never seen the word Bhagavan come anywhere else. All the avatars are mentioned, but the word Bhagavan is appearing now. Bhagavan aharat bharam. So Prabhupada mentions here, what does this mean? Even though Krishna is considered to be one of the avatars, but Krishna has a separate position. Krishna is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. We'll come to that verse now. Krishna is that personality of Godhead. So therefore the chapter is called Krishna, the source of all incarnations. So we have heard of Dasavatar, right? There's one of the great acharyas called Jayadev Goswami. Jayadev Goswami has written a song called Dashavata Stotra. If you read this whole Dashavata Stotra, Krishna is not mentioned in the Dashavatar. Balaram is mentioned, Krishna is not mentioned. But each of the verse ends with Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare. Keshavadrita Kurma Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare. Keshavadrita Bhrugupati Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare. That means what? Who is taking these incarnations? Keshava. Krishna comes in these various forms. So therefore, this is the first time the word Bhagavan is used because Krishna is that supreme personality of Godhead. We will come to this understanding just in 2-3 verses. You all will understand why this point is mentioned. Text 24. Tata kalo sampravarte sammohaya suradvisham buddho namna anjana suta kikateshu bhavishyati. Bhavishyati means the Lord will appear as Buddha. Why it is mentioned? Well, this Bhagavatam, this discussion that is happening 5,000 years ago. At that point, Buddha didn't come. Till Krishna was there, 5,000 years ago, when Krishna had come. Buddha didn't come. So here it is said, Buddha will come, Bhavishyati. So Prabhupada explains here, this is the authority of Bhagavatam. 5,000 years ago, already Buddha has predicted when Buddha will come. So any incarnation, if someone says that I am also an avatar, his name should be there in Bhagavatam. His name should be there in some scripture. Somewhere you have to be mentioned. And here the name also is mentioned. He'll be the son of Anjana and he'll be born in the province of Gaya. Right? You go to Gaya, there is Bodh Gaya. He'll be born in the province of Gaya. And why will come? In order to delude the theists. So the Prabhupada explains here, in essence, why is the need of Buddha avatar? See, Buddha avatar, we consider Buddha to be Vishnu. But the philosophy of Buddha is atheism. You may say that we respect Buddha as Vishnu, then why don't we become Buddhists? No. We accept we accept Buddha as incarnation of Vishnu, but we don't follow his philosophy. Buddhism is not considered to be Sanatan Dharma. Why? Prabhupada explains here. Why did the Lord come as Buddha? Because people were following Vedas, and in the Vedas, Yagyas are mentioned. And one of the Yagya is Gomed Yagya, Ashwamed Yagya, where you sacrifice animals. But what was the idea? If you are doing an animal sacrifice perfectly, if a Brahmana is very perfect, right in front of everyone's eyes, that animal will get a human form and it will get elevated. So that means your animal sacrifice is perfect. But what happened at a certain point, 2500 years ago, when Buddha came, people were mass scale killing animals in the name that is written in the Vedas. Veda mein mentioned hai, hum marenge animal ko. So the Lord is the Supreme Lord, He is the Father of everyone. So He couldn't tolerate so many living entities being killed, all His children being killed. So He came as Lord Buddha and He preached the philosophy of Ahimsa, Ahimsa hi paramo dharma. So people asked Him, but then what about the Vedas? Buddha said, hell with the Vedas. Don't speak about the Vedas at all. Just follow this. So He established, He came basically to stop animal sacrifice, one mission. So He rejected the Vedas completely. So the entire land of India at that time, which was following the Vedic cult, after the appearance of Buddha, everyone became Buddhist. The whole stretch became Buddhist. So Lord Buddha came and did His role. Stopped animal sacrifice, went. But the problem now is people stopped killing animals, but all of them basically became away from the Vedic religion. So Buddhism, there is no concept of God. There is no concept of Atma. There is no concept of moksha. Basically, Buddhism means Shunyavad. Everything is zero. They don't believe in Atma, they don't believe in reincarnation, they don't believe in any of these things. So a different kind of philosophy altogether. So Buddha did his role and went. Then the Lord came, the Lord sent Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya is basically Shiva avatar. And what did Shankaracharya do? Shankaracharya drove the Buddhists away from the land of India and he brought the Vedic fold in. But Shankaracharya, because already people of India were following Buddhism and most of them become atheists, so Shankaracharya couldn't introduce the idea of God having a form. So Shankaracharya only said God is Nirvishesh Nirakar. That's how he went. Very similar to Buddhism, the understanding of God. Buddhism is Shunyavad, Shankaracharya is Mayavad, everything is illusion. Right? So Shankaracharya bought the Vedas. His only contribution was to bring the Vedas and then he went. Then after that, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, all of them come and they explain that the essence of Vedas is that God has a form. God is not Nirvishesh Nirakar. He has a personal form. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and explains this philosophy in more detail in the form of Nama Sankirtan. So this is how Prabhupada explains that Buddhism was only a stopgap solution. It is not a Sanatan Dharma, it is only a temporary religion. Just like a simple example, there's a main highway, right? But sometimes when there's work going on in the main highway, there is a diversion. They say that take this route and then you come back here. Now when the main highway is repaired, you don't need that diversion. So that diversion was only so that the main highway gets repaired. So Buddhism was that diversion. Buddhism, then Shankaracharya, and then the main Vaishnava path came back. So therefore, we respect Buddha, but we don't follow Buddhism. So here is explained that Buddha in one sense cheats his followers. Buddhism doesn't believe in God, but they all worship Buddha. That means indirectly they are worshipping Vishnu. In this way, he is giving them also a chance. So this is the incarnation of Buddha. Text 25. Ataso yuga sandhyayam dasya prayeshu rajashu janita vishnu yashasho namna kalkir jagatpati. Finally, at the conjunction of two yugas, yuga sandhyayo. So generally avatars come at yuga sandhya. You know what is a sandhya? Like day and night, there is sandhya. There's an overlapping of day and night, that is called a sandhya. So there is yuga sandhya. When two yugas overlap, it's not that you can't say that at this point Dwapar Yuga ended, this point Kali Yuga started. It's an overlap that happens. So at a certain overlap, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. And after Kali is what? Again Satya starts. So when Kali ends and Satya is about to start, the Lord will appear as Kalki. and he will come in his horse with his knife. And because by the end of Kali Yuga, already most people alive will be demons only. All the devotees would have gone. So Kalki takes his sword and kills everyone. End of Kali Yuga, and then a new Yuga starts, Satya Yuga. So here it is explained that Kalki avatar, Kalki when he will come, now it is 5,000 years over of Kali Yuga. More 4,27,000 years to go. Then Kalki will come. Now already there are so many people who say that I am Kalki avatar. Already people are there in the market. I am Kalki avatar. But here it is said the name of Kalki's father will be Vishnu Yash, and he will be born in a village called Shambhala, which is somewhere in Bihar. Shambhala. UP. There's one in UP. There's one in Bihar also. So this is the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very clear. Where he will come, when he will come. Text 26. A very important verse. So till 25 was all the avatars, 22 avatars mentioned. Now it is said, Avatara hi asankyeya Harer sattva nider dvija Yata vidhashina kulya sarasasyu sahasrasha. So here 22 avatars, but don't think that this is the list. This is the complete list. Don't think. So here Sutta Goswami is saying, my dear Shaunakadi Rishi, my dear Brahmanas, there are innumerable avatars of the Lord. Just like unlimited rivulets flow into the river or unlimited waves in the ocean. Can you count how many waves are there in the ocean? That many avatars are there. Unlimited. Ananta. So the Leelas of the Lord are Ananta. The avatars of the Lord are Ananta. Unlimited. Unlimited avatars. So this is just a small list. And then Prabhupada mentions the many more avatars. Hayagriva, Hari, Hamsha, Prishnigarbha, Vibhu, Satyasena, Vaikunta, Sarvabhoma, Vikshwakshena, Dharmasetu, Sudama, Yogeshwara, Brihadbanu, and the list goes on and on. So that there are unlimited avatars. And the Lord comes just like water flows from the waterfall is incessantly. Similarly, so many avatars keep coming. Text 27. Rishayo manavo deva Manuputra mahojasa Kala sarve harir eva Samprajapataya smrita. So there are many others. They are like main avatars, right? And then there are secondary. So basically it's called Amsha and then Kala. So what does here the word Kala, what does Kala mean? Amsha is the avatars of Krishna and Kala means part and parcel of that, one step down. So there are many Manus, Rishis, Manus, demigods, and many of them are also empowered personalities, empowered by Lord. So unlimited avatars. Now text 28, which is the most important verse in this section, in this chapter. And it is the most important verse in the entire Bhagavatam. Text 28. This is called Paribhasa Sutra. Paribhasa Sutra basically means the emperor verse. There are 18,000 verses. This verse is the emperor verse. That means what? Anywhere in Bhagavatam you find any confusion. Sometimes the word Bhagavan is used for Shiva. Sometimes the word Bhagavan is used for Narada. So you may understand, you may think that are they also Bhagavan? So this is that verse that you have to fall back to. All other verses in Bhagavatam have to be seen in line with this verse. This is that emperor verse, Paribhasa Sutra. You all can repeat this verse after me. Etecha amshakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So here it says Etecha amshakala pumsa. So now the whole comprehensive list has come of all the avatars. All these Etecha Amsha Kala Pumsa. They are all Amsha or Kala. Amsha means plenary portions and Kala means portions of the plenary portions. Right? So all this are portions of the plenary portions. Of whom Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is that Bhagavan. So we saw in the 22 avatars, only when Krishna came, the word Bhagavan is used. And again, after the whole list, again this verse comes. Krishnastu. What does the word tu mean? But of all the avatars, Krishna is that Supreme Person of God. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. The Swayam Bhagavan is Krishna. And why does he come? Indrari Vyakulam Lokam. When the world is troubled by demons who are enemies of Indra, the Lord comes. Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. He comes in every yuga. The same principle that Krishna tells in the Gita. Parit, what is that verse? The next verse after that? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya atmanam sambhavami yuge yuge. Basically, that's the verse. So he comes basically Bridayanti yuge yuge. So Prabhupada, you all can go back and read the purports. So Prabhupada explains a very simple example. See, they are all the avatars mentioned now are all Vishnu Tattva only. They are all Krishna, but the powers are different. So Prabhupada says if your room is small, if you have a small room, do you need like 1,000 kilowatt bulb there? Huge wattage bulb? You don't need. One small bulb is enough. If you have a big room, you use a bigger bulb. Now, if there is a small demon whom Krishna has to kill, why does he have to come personally? He will send one of his Amsha or Kala. Understanding? So depending on the need, he takes a particular avatar. So these are all Vishnu avatars, but Krishna is that powerhouse. Krishna is that original powerhouse. And so Prabhupada explains here the whole list of the various avatars. One time, I don't have that whole sheet. There's a very beautiful chart. Probably the next time when we meet, I'll show you the chart of how from Krishna all these various avatars come. It's like a very detailed chart. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the next level. The same Krishna comes in Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya. So when Lord Chaitanya was here, one of the great Acharyas, Sanatan Goswami, he meets Lord Chaitanya at Varanasi, and then he's asking him about these various avatars. And Lord Chaitanya gives such a detailed analysis. Once you understand that, you'll be convinced that beyond Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's nothing higher. The whole comprehensive list. So that I will explain to you at another time. So basically, the whole idea is how Krishna is that Supreme Person of Godhead. Krishna is that fountainhead of all avatars. From him, all the avatars spring about. Text 29, which is the Falastuti. Falastuti means when you keep hearing about these avatars, what will you gain? Or why are we spending time in reading the subject matter? Janma Guyam Bhagavato Yetat Paryato Nara Syam Pratar Grinan Bhaktya Dukkha Grama Vimuchyate. Janma Guyam Bhagavato. So Bhagavato is the Supreme Person of Godhead. Guyam is mysterious. So the Lord's pastimes are mysterious. How does the Lord appear as a fish? How does he appear as a kurma? Outside people will never be able to understand. How can a scientist explain all this? Janma Guyam Bhagavato. Very, very mysterious. But still, anyone who keeps reciting this, Yaetat Prayato Naraha. Prayata is very carefully, very attentively, with great faith. And when we should recite it? Sayam Prata Grinam Bhaktya. In the morning and in the evening with devotion. That means continuously. Kirtaniya Sadahari Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. When you keep hearing, what will happen? Dukkha Gramat Vimuchyate. One will be free from all dukkha. So if you want to get rid of all miseries, then keep hearing more and more about the pastimes and incarnations of Krishna. That's the understanding. So this was a very important section, 6 to 29, where the list of the Leela avatars is mentioned, which is an answer to question number 5. So now 30 to 34, I'll just do this very quickly. Sutta Goswami explains about Virat Rupa. We have all heard about Virat Rupa, na? Universal form. I remember in my childhood when we used to see Mahabharata, right? We were all waiting for that universal. That is like the climax, Virat Rupa. When will Krishna show that Virat Rupa? Right? But here, text 30. ये एतद्रूपं भगवतो ह्यरूपस्य चिदात्मन मया गुणैर् विरचितं महदादिभिर् आत्मनि. So here it says, what is Virat Rupa? Virat Rupa basically means the universal form. Universe, that is considered to be a form of Vishnu. So in one sense, it is not, the universe is not Vishnu. The universe has come from Vishnu, but universe is not Vishnu. But, so basically it's an imaginary form. Virat Rupa is an imaginary form that you consider the universe. Like we'll see ahead, it is explained that we saw 14 planetary system. The Bhagavatam explains that what is the understanding of Virat Rupa? It is said that Brahma Loka is the head of Vishnu, head of the Virat Rupa. Pata Loka is the leg of Virat Rupa. So you envision the universe to be a form. Why is this there? Because people who are neophytes, people who are materialistic thinking, they can't see Krishna. They can't see. But they want to see some form. So for them it is TK. You start with Virat Rupa. You start with this because at least you will get used to an idea of form. And then slowly you will come to Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. You will come to the form of Krishna. In the 11th chapter, which is the universal form in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking Krishna, please show me the universal form. Krishna shows. Immediately after that, Arjuna says, please take away this universal form. I want to see your original form. So Prabhupada writes there, a devotee is not interested to see the universal form. Outside people it is highly attractive. Devotees want to see the form of Krishna because they understand that Krishna is the source of Vasudeva, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadi Yasya Yata. All the universes are coming from Krishna. So the next verse gives the understanding of why this universal form is there. Text 31. Yata nabasi megago Renurva partvito nile Evam dastari drishtyattvam Aropitam abhudibi. Abhudibi means less intelligent. So this universal form is for less intelligent people. Just like the example is given here, you say that the sky is cloudy. But is the sky cloudy? That's the way we use it. Or we say the air is dusty. The air can never be dusty. But we make that connection. Like Prabhupada gives us a very simple example. You may see the car of a president going. You may see the car of a president going. Like today morning we went to Bicholim and we were coming back to our ashram. CM's entire entourage was passing. Right? You don't understand where the CM is sitting because it's a tainted glass. So you see the car of the president or the CM. What do you say? There see the CM. But what you can see only the car. You can't see the CM. So similarly, for people who are less intelligent, they cannot see Krishna. But what they can see is the universal form. So they say that just this is Krishna, the universal form. But that's not Krishna, that is just the universe that is coming from Krishna. It is for less intelligent people to get adjusted to a concept of a form. Are you all understanding this principle? Are you all understanding this?
But Arjuna was very intelligent.
Yeah.
Why he had to do it?
Why he had to? Good question. So Mataji's question is, Arjuna is a devotee. I told you devotees are not interested. Why did Arjuna want to see? Because Arjuna knew people in future will think Krishna is an ordinary person. So Arjuna wanted to convince all these guys that Krishna is not ordinary, he can show the universal form. That is not for him. That is for the materialistic people to get convinced. That's the whole understanding. Okay? So then the next few verses, I'll not read into that. So basically it says that, the idea of, we have this form, material form, and Krishna has this universal form. So generally we connect ourselves, we are Atma, but we connect with this body, and we connect Krishna to that universal form. So both this is illusion. But Sutta Goswami explains here, when a person understands that I am beyond this form, material form, I am not this body, and Krishna is not this Virat form, Krishna is beyond this Virat form, such a person is considered to be the most intelligent. So the whole idea of Bhagavatam is, you connect to that spirit. Don't get enamored by matter. Whether it is your form or universal form, don't get enamored by that. Connect to that essence. The essence of our body is the Atma within. The essence of the universal form is Krishna. So do bhakti to Krishna. We have quite a few verses to go. I'll just rush through it. Text 36, a very important verse. This is the second last section, describing and understanding the Lord. Which Lord? Krishna, not the Virat Rupa. Savai idam vishvam amoga leela srijati avati attina sajjate smin bhuteshu chantarita atmatantra sadvargikam jigrati sadgunesha. Who is this Krishna? Sava idam vishwam amoga leela. This Lord is spotless. Amoga leela means spotless. Nothing material about him. Srijati avati atti na sajjate smin. Even though he creates, maintains and destroys, he is not affected. Generally in this world, you create something, you get attached to it. Anything you create, you are very attached to that creation. But Krishna creates, maintains, annihilates, but he is not attached. He is completely detached. Then it says, Bhuteshu Chantar Hita Atma Tantra. Lord Krishna is there in the heart of all living entities as super soul. Atma Tantra means he is self-independent. He is not dependent on anyone else. And then Sadvargikam. Sadvargikam means he is the Lord of the 6 opulences. We defined in Journey of Self-Discovery course, Bhagavan matlab one who has 6 opulences in full. Wealth, strength, knowledge, renunciation, fame, like that. And then Sadguneshu, and he is master of the 6 senses. We have 6 senses now: eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin, and then mind. 6 senses. He is the master of the 6 senses. So in this way, and in the next verse it says that Supreme Lord, he comes in this world and performs pastimes like a human being, like Krishna, Ram. Many people think that he's a human being, but he's just performing Leela like a human being. Just like a actor may go on a drama and do acting in a certain way. Someone may think that, hey, this person is this, but he's actually completely different. He's just doing pastime like a human being in order to attract all our hearts. Text 38. Saveda dhatu padavim parasya duranta viryasya ratangapane yo mayaya santataya anuvritya Bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. So now this is a very important verse. What one should do? Saveda dhatu padavim parasya. So this Lord, who is the creator, who is completely independent, who is very powerful. Duranta viryasya ratangapane. One of the name of Krishna is Ratangapane, because he holds the chariot wheel or he holds the Sudarshan Chakra. So what one should do? So mayaya santataya anuvritya. One should do devotional service to him. Bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. Bhajeta means do devotional service. But how one should do devotional service? 3 points. Amayaya santataya anuvritya. So what does devotional service mean? Amayaya means without reservation. Santataya means without any gap, continuously. And anuvritya means favorably. So how one should do devotion to Krishna? Amayaya, without reservation, without stopping. Santataya, very sincerely, constantly. And anuvritya means very favorably one should do devotional service. So this is what Bhagavatam is explaining, basically the point of pure devotional service. And then the next verse, I will not read the verse. Text 39 basically says that anyone who performs devotional service like this, he is guaranteed immunity from the cycle of birth and death. You can read that verse, text 39, very important verse. Anyone who asks about Krishna, understands Krishna, guaranteed immunity from the cycle of birth and death. So now this is that section where Sutta Goswami is explaining how important it is to describe and understand the Lord. Now the last section, 5 verses but very important verses, we'll spend some time before we end. 40 to 44, very important section. So So till now, how many questions have been answered? All 5 have been answered. One last question remains. That is going to get answered now. Text 40. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. So now, till now what has been described? It is said that if you want to get rid of the cycle of birth and death, you have to focus on Krishna, not the imaginary forms, on the form of Krishna. One should continuously describe Krishna, hear about Krishna. So now where we will get to hear about Krishna, know about Krishna, Idam Bhagavatam Nama. This book, Bhagavatam, is the only way, the only place where you get detailed understanding of Krishna. Purana Brahma Samhitam. Brahma Samhitam means it is Krishna only come in the form of a book. So this Bhagavatam I had explained in the beginning also. This Bhagavatam is Krishna in the form of a book, and what it contains about Krishna. This book is Krishna. It contains about Krishna, written by Vyasadeva, who is also avatar of Krishna. So can you imagine this? Krishna writing a book, and the book only is Krishna, about Krishna. So it's such an important book. Uttama Shloka Charitam. Right? It contains all beautiful shlokas describing the pastimes of Krishna. Chakara Bhagavan Rishi, written by Vyasadeva. And what will happen by reading this? Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. And if someone reads this, one will get all good, all success, all bliss, all perfection. This is what we want now. We want a blissful life, we want a successful life, we want a perfect life. What else we want? Right? आनंद चाहिए, सफलता चाहिए, सब चाहिए, सिद्धि चाहिए. This is what it is. Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. All you will get just by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So reading page by page is very, very important. So Srila Prabhupada writes here, one should study this book very carefully, very patiently. Text 41. Tad idam Grayayamāsha Sutam Atma Vatamvaram Sarva Veda Itihasanam Saram Samudratam. Very important verse. So this Bhagavatam was given by Vyasadeva to Shukadeva Goswami. Right? And what does Bhagavatam contain? Sarva Veda Itihasanam Saram Samudratam. See, the body of Vedas is huge. Huge. Today morning only, I had gone to one temple somewhere in Bicholim. And there the Pujari was asking me, Prabhu ji, आपने पूरा संस्कृत तो पढ़ लिया होगा ना? आपने पूरा वेद तो पढ़ लिया होगा? मैं बोला हम भागवतम पढ़ते हैं. Because the body of Vedas is huge. Huge body of Vedas. Unlimited stories. Unlimited histories. But all of that may not be important for you. Because in Kali Yuga, time is very limited. So what has Vyasadeva done? He knows that people of Kali Yuga have very limited time. Saram Samudratam. He's removed the most important stories, the most important lessons that teach that essence, and that is given in the form of Bhagavatam. So no beating around the bush. All that essence of each of the Puranas is there here. Very carefully chosen for the people of Kali Yuga. So this Bhagavatam was given by Vyasadeva to Shukadeva Goswami. Text 42. Satu samshra vayamasha Maharajam parikshitam Paryopavishtam gangayam Paritram paramarshabhi. And in turn, Shukadeva Goswami spoke the same Bhagavatam to Parikshit, who was cursed that he will die. So Parikshit gave up drinking and eating, and he was sitting on the bank of Ganga, Shukatal, and Shukadeva Goswami in return spoke Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada writes here, this is Parampara system. What is Parampara system? Vyasadeva, we will see in the next chapter, Vyasadeva got the inspiration of Bhagavatam from Narad Muni. Narad Muni told Vyasadeva, write Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva gave Bhagavatam to Shukadeva. Shukadeva gave it to Parikshit. And in that assembly, Sutta Goswami was sitting. Now Sutta Goswami is giving it to Shaunakadarishi. So just being passed down in parampara. No plus, no minus, as it is, the flow is there. So this is the disciplic succession. And Prabhupada writes here, ultimately, we are all like Parikshit at the, we just have like few days left or some time left for death. Very important, like Parikshit, we absorb ourselves in Bhagavatam. Now, the last two verses. Text 43 is a very important verse in which the sixth question is answered. The sixth question was, after Lord Krishna departed, after Krishna Leela got over, where does Dharma take shelter of? Krishna Swadamo Upagate Dharma Jnana Dibhisah Kalo Nashta Drisham Esha Puranarko Dunodita. So it is said, Krishna Swadamo Upagate. When Lord Krishna went back to his spiritual world, Dharma Jnana Dibhisah. So when Krishna goes, matlab, Dharma is also gone, Jnana is also gone. So what will happen to the world? What will happen to Kali Yuga? Kalo Nashta Drishamesha. So when Krishna goes, Krishna came in Dwapar Yuga. Krishna came basically in the Sandhya of Dwapar and Kali. As soon as Krishna Leela gets over, Kali starts. Kali Yuga starts. So Kali Yuga is the age of darkness. So how will people get light? Now Krishna is not there. Puranarko Dunodita. Arka is the sun. Arka is the sun. So Bhagavatam has appeared as that sun in order to remove the darkness of Kali Yuga. So basically, the question was, after Krishna, whom do people take shelter of? This is Bhagavatam. Krishna has come in the form of book, Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada writes here, in this age of Kali, people want light, people want hope, people want direction. Two books are very important, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. If we make a study of this, we can actually see Krishna face to face. The last verse of this chapter, Tatra kriyato vipra viparshe bhuri tejasa aham chadya gamam tatra nivistastat anugraha soham va shravayishyami yataditam yatamati. I'll just read the translation as it is. O learned Brahmanas, when Shukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam in the presence of King Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy, I learned Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it. So Prabhupada explains here, this is the Parampara system. He is saying that I was very fortunate when Shukadeva was speaking it to Parikshit Maharaj, I happened to be there. And how did I hear it? With rapt attention. So if someone wants to be qualified speaker of Bhagavatam, the first qualification is hear attentively. One who hears attentively can speak well, rapt attention. And then he's saying here, Yata ditam yata mati, as I have heard and as I have realized. So hearing is also important, and along with hearing, reflecting, internalizing it, realizing it, and then you can actually speak it. So I'll stop at this point. So just a quick overview of this chapter, a quick overview of the first three chapters in one slide. The first chapter had 6 questions. You can see here, question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5, question 6. Question 1 is ultimate good for humanity. Question 2 is essence of all scriptures. Question 3 is why did Krishna appear? Question 4 is Purush Avatar. Question 5 is Leela Avatar. Question 6 is where does Dharma take shelter of? So 1 and 2, question 1 and 2 are answered in chapter 2, 6 and 7 basically, about Bhakti. Ultimate good and essence of all scriptures is Bhakti. Now Purush Avatar, Krishna's appearance, Purush Avatar, Leela Avatar, it is Krishna's appearance is explained in chapter 2 also, chapter 3 ending also. Krishna comes to deliver people. Purush Avatar we saw explained in 2 chapters, part of it in chapter 2, part of it in chapter 3. Leela Avatars was this whole section of 22 avatars is the Leela Avatars. And then last point is answered in the end of chapter 3. So this is in essence the first 3 chapters at a glance. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, we are already a little late. Sorry for being over time. Next week, we are not going to have the class here. There's this hall called GCCI Hall just next to Azad Maidan. Because from next week on, the Kartik month starts. Kartik month is a very important month, very, very good month to do devotional service. You get like thousands of times benefit. And Monday, Tuesday, Sharad Purnima, which is the start of Kartik. Sharad Purnima is a very, very important day. That is the day when Lord Krishna did his Ras Leela. He called all the gopis in the middle of the night and they performed Ras Leela.